A kind of strange thing happened at Monday's induction ceremony for the South Carolina Hall of Fame. One of the inductees was Thomas Lynch Sr., an important figure in colonial history. The man who nominated Lynch was Frank Beatty, who now owns and lives in Hopsawee Plantation, Lynch's historic home near Georgetown.
I wanted Mr. Lynch's legacy to be more well known, which was why I nominated him for the Hall.
But when Beatty unveiled the portrait of Lynch, what we saw instead was a picture of, well, George Washington. Here's how it happened. When Beatty was a little boy, he was shown a portrait that hung over the mantel at the Winyaw Indigo Society, an old fraternal club in Georgetown. Beatty's uncle told him back then, "That's our first president." And the young Beatty took that to mean the first president of the Winyaw Indigo Society, Thomas Lynch. Well, that idea stuck in Beatty's mind, and years later, when the time came to find a picture of Lynch for the Hall of Fame, Beatty grabbed this portrait.
The first president of the United States and the first president of the Winyaw Indigo Society had been confused.
This is the only known portrait of Thomas Lynch. A reproduction of it is being made to hang in the State Hall of Fame. The only other known picture of Lynch is with his head bowed in this engraving, the first prayer in Congress. Thomas Lynch Sr. was a leader of the First Continental Congress. He supported Washington's appointment to be the Army's first commander-in-chief. Lynch died before he could sign the Declaration of Independence, but out of respect, a blank space was left for his signature. He was no George Washington, but Thomas Lynch was an important man. Mr. Beatty says anyone who lives in the home of an historic figure like he does here in the home of Thomas Lynch Sr. feels that person's presence, not a ghostly presence, but more of a legacy.
It is an expectation that you will, in your life, in some way live up to the life of the person whose house you now inhabit.
Perhaps one way that Beatty lives up to Lynch's legacy is to be man enough to admit that he made a mistake, though he feels a little foolish about it now.
Who wouldn't be?
Had it been a hoax instead of an honest mistake, Beatty says he would have picked someone besides George Washington. In Georgetown County, Joel Allen, News Channel 15.